Hi guys, it's Self-Care Thursday. How y'all doing? So, as y'all know, my check-in question is, are your edges flourishing? Because that's something that we need to happen out here. But because that's my check-in question, I decided to ask, if your edges are not flourishing, what's snatching them? And because my brain works weird, that created a whole topic in my mind because why not? So when I say what, it's the proverbial what, like life, people, the job, etc. So I wanted to check in and see what is snatching y'all edges. So, there is a lot that could be causing stress. I mean, we're living in a pandemic, because who thought we was gonna have to deal with that in 2020 with all the medical marvels that we have? Who thought we would be shut down like this? But we're living in a pandemic, people losing their jobs, people losing homes, a whole bunch of stuff is going on. Life is altering. It's a major change. People having kids during a pandemic, which having children in general is definitely already an adjustment. And then to do it when you're not allowed outside, can cause a whole heck of a lot of stress. I know for me, the 6 weeks is hard, not because I like to be outside, but I don't like to be told I can't do something. So if you tell me, because the sky is orange today, you can't go outside. See, I'm the type of chick that be like, well, it can go ahead and be orange, but I'm gonna be outside. So when you tell me I can't go outside and then there's a reason I can't go outside, I get stir crazy. So that was hard, them 6 weeks, and then it's the 6 weeks is up and you still can't go nowhere. So that was definitely a transition for me. And then it's you can't go anywhere, but then you don't want to go anywhere with your baby. So then where's your baby gonna go if you do get a chance to go anywhere? That was the struggle for me. So yeah, I've been with my kids for a year and a half, collectively, inside. So that would be a reason my edges should be snatched, but the Lord he's faithful, because I got edges during this pandemic. Here nor there. So before I get too far off topic, oh yeah, announcement for those who did not know, your girl got her certification. Woo! I am now a certified life and cognitive behavioral techniques coach. So to explain that, my job or my role that I would play in an individual's life is to get them to, one, I'm a sounding board. So if you need to just speak it out, I'm a sounding board. I'm there to listen. Two, once I've listened, I am there to help you set attainable goals to reach whatever your overarching goal is. Three, we work together each time to figure out what the reality of your situation is, what's going to hinder you from getting to that goal. And if there are no hindrances, we're going to figure out step by step how to get to what you need to get to. And, everybody needs help on different levels, so it wouldn't be the same amount of help for each person. But I am not a therapist. I want to clear that up. I am not a therapist. Working with me or sitting down and having an initial conversation, or the quick talk, as I like to call it, I can determine if that's something you need to do, or it will help me determine how we're going to move forward with our coaching relationship. So if something like that is of interest to you, I will have my contact information in the description box so we can connect. So back to the topic at hand. What is snatching your edges? Can you identify what it is? Like, let me clear it up. So when I say snatching your edges, I just mean what's stressing you, what's creating a disruption in your life that you yourself at this present moment are unable either to identify or provide a solution for. That's what I mean when I say snatching your edges, okay? So have you identified what it is that's snatching your edges? Because that's the first step. If you don't know what it looks like, your edge is just gonna be snatched. You're just gonna be bald-headed out here, and who got time? So I encourage you to figure out what it is. Is it your job? Is it like me? You can't, this not being outside thing. Is it that? Is it people? Is it like the relationships you're in? Do you feel like you're in toxic situations that you necessarily can't get out of in your present state? Those are things to look for. So if you're not one of those people who has not identified it yet, so let's say you're the person who's identified it. So now that you know what it is that's creating the stress for you, so you know what it is, you've identified it, what solutions have you come up with to fix it? Or have you not? Have you just identified it and you're just accepting it as a part of your life? And let me be clear, there are stresses in life that are not necessarily controllable, but you have control over how you deal with them and how they affect you. Okay? So you should never just sit and let something stress you because it's a constant that you can't change. For example, I can't get rid of my kids, but I can control how I respond to the stress that they give me because I'm the adult. Prime example. Another example, my husband, he's another adult I can't control. So if he stresses me out, I can control how that stress hits me, okay? So now that we understand we have the power to control how we respond to the stressors that we cannot control. Next, once you understand you have that power, you need to decide what you're going to do to stop that stressor from overwhelming you and overtaking you. So one option is to affirm yourself. That's like step numero uno, okay? Affirm yourself. You are better than this. You are more than a conqueror. All things work together for the good of them that love the good Lord Jesus. Come on. I just got worked up. But affirm yourself. Because your mindset is a factor in how solutions play out. Because you can come up with a list of solutions all day long, but if you do not believe in your ability to accomplish the solution, then you just talking. So affirm yourself. 2, write everything down. I have always been a person that if I didn't write it down, it didn't exist. I believe there might be studies to prove that this is effective. I don't know. If I find them, I'll let y'all know. But writing it down, writing that goal down, writing down how you plan to implement it, that is step 2. And then you cover that thing in prayer, okay? Because Jesus can do all things, but what? Fail, okay? So step 1, come up with the solution, affirm yourself. Step 2, write that thing down. And step 3, pray, honey, push until something happens. So now that we have prayed about it and we've given it to him, now we got to act, because you can't have faith and not work. So this is where like a life coach would come in. You have goals, you done you've written it down, you've prayed over it, and he's led you to work with someone, because accountability is everything. That's a good way to describe what I do. I am your accountability partner, but like on steroids. Okay, so he's given it to you, you've written it down, you've prayed, and now he's led you to deal with someone, accountability coach. So now it's time to put that solution in action. And it doesn't matter how smart or how educated you are, everybody has to have a plan that takes step by step. No matter how smart or how, efficient you are, you can't be like, I'm gonna be a millionaire, and then you just snap your fingers and then money's just made. There are steps to every process. It's brighter than I thought it was gonna be. But yeah. Or he would just lead you to start the process. Whatever that may be. You decide what step 1 to your process is. And then you give yourself a time limit, because goals need to have a time limit, and it doesn't have to be like tomorrow. Okay? Like, don't be like, oh my God, we gotta do this tomorrow. What I normally do, and it gets on my husband's nerves, I do 6-week plans for like everything. So if I have something I need to get done and I know there's an extensive steps list, I'll give myself 6 weeks, because, pay attention to what your life circumstances are. Like, I have 2 children, I have a full-time job, I have a husband, I have a household to maintain. So 6 weeks is really effective for me, because I won't get stressed about needing to reach the deadline. That's the most important. Like, I'm not stressing myself about getting it done. I know when I started, I know when I have to be done, and it works. Maybe you don't need 6 weeks, maybe you only need 3 or 4. And then check in weekly to see where you are. So like I get notebooks that have like bullets. Well, I try to. So on the top of the page, I say whatever day the 6 weeks starts, I say what step goal I'm working on, and then what little things have to be done to make sure that this goal is reached at the end of 6 weeks. And every week I come in, we do either Friday or Mondays here to check in. It's usually Fridays because Jaren be at Gigi house and it's quiet. Anyway, so we usually check in on a Friday and say, okay, this week, which step did we accomplish? If we didn't accomplish a step, why didn't it happen? What needs to be added to this list to make sure that we don't get stuck and it doesn't happen again? So and then we check off the bullet. And at the end of 6 weeks, all the bullets should be checked off. And if they are not, that's okay, because life happens. Don't be condemned because you didn't complete your 6-week checklist. But something should be marked off of there. Something. So, that's what works for me. Again, if you would like to connect with me to figure out what kind of plan works for you, even if it's just a one quick talk, like just to figure out like, okay, I get things done this way, so this method will work best. I want to try it out, and I'll get back with you to figure out if that worked, and if not, we'll go back to the drawing board. But yeah, child, ain't no reason to be edgeless out here, because there's too many ways to avoid it. And one thing, since this is Self-Care Thursday, one thing that I will say, as a person, I have not always been able to alleviate stress. So don't let me sit here in front of you with my stress methods and make you think that I was always able to do it. Because, child, I used to be a bull in a china shop. Anything stressed me out, the world was over. But I had to get myself together because there's no way to live. To be in a constant state of stress is just like, what? But yeah, y'all, this year, instead of a hot girl summer, we're gonna have a whole girl summer, okay? We're gonna be whole, set free, working on the goals we want to work on, because we can do that. That's our prerogative. Yeah. Am I snatched up? Am I snatched? Not yet. Well, you're right. I got extra steps to attend to, so you got a point there. These toddlers are so shady, okay? Shady. Like they pay a bill. Well, guys, here's the final look. And as you can see, my little ones have invaded. So here's the final look for this week. And hopefully I said something to encourage you for this upcoming week. And as I said, if you guys would like to connect with me regarding life coaching, I will have my contact information in the bio.
Mommy, what's the lips?
See you guys next week.